Hey there, thanks for joining me to color. Today we're going to be doing this adorable little shaker card, and our image is by CC Designs. It's called Happy Twila. Isn't she cute? I'll put a link to the card kit down in the description box along with all the supplies I used in case you'd like to pick something up. I really appreciate you shopping with me. So anyway, I went ahead and I stamped my image on some Neenah 80-pound solar white cardstock. So let's color. Alright, so let's go ahead and start by doing our skin. We're going to use E11, E21, E00, E000. For cheeks, I'm going to use R21, R20, and R30. So let's go ahead and start with our E11, and we're going to start down here on her hand. And since this hand right here is in the back, I'm going to go ahead and fill that all the way in. And then I'm going to give the bottom of her finger just a little tab of color there. And then I'm going to go right along the edge of her coat. And I'm going to brush up onto her hand a little bit. I think I'll go up just a little bit more. And then we're going to grab E21. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in this bottom one. And then for this one, we're going to go right next to her jacket. And then we're going to pull up until almost the edge of that last finger there. So clear up to this third finger up. And then I take my E00 and I go over the entire thing. And then this one, I'm going to fill it all the way up to the edge. Okay, then we're going to do her hand or her face. So right over here, she's got a little bit of her ear showing. So I'm going to do the bottom. There's a little bit of white there at the top. And then let's go a little bit away from her hat. And I'm going to go right next to where this hair is touching her face. And we'll come down this way. And we'll do the same thing for this one. And then for this ear, let's do right inside the little crook of her ear there. And then we're going to bring this, let's see, we're going to do a little bit right here on this little mark for her chin. And we're going to go right up to about the edge of her hair right here. And I'm going to do a little bit on the top of her coat. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab our E21. So for this ear over here, I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. And then on this ear, we're going to go underneath of this hair, and I'm going to fill in this bottom section. So we'll leave this little bit of white up here at the top. And then we're going to brush away from our E21. And right here we have that little line I'm going to pull up just a little bit more. Then we're going to grab our E00. So let's go ahead and fill in her ear. I'm going to swipe down along here. Go over the top of her nose there. And then let's go up and around over like this. We left a little patch there underneath of her nose and her nose white. And then we're going to add our E000 to fill that in. So I'm just going to swipe over the top of that. Then we'll add some cheek color and we'll come back and add a little bit more. So for our R21, I'm going to start over here where her hair dips up. We're going to put a little bit of that coming out onto her cheek. And then for this side, we're going to go right behind her hair. And then we're going to pull up past that hair. And then we'll add our R20. So we want to soften the edges. So I touch down on top of my 21. And then we just pull out just a little bit. I don't want her cheeks to be too big. So I'm just softening that edge a little bit. And then we'll grab our R30 to soften it further. And then I'm going to come back with my R21 again. And I'm going to darken up just along this edges. And then I'm going to come in with E00, and I'm going to brush back over where I had it before. I'm going to brush over these cheeks. I'm going to come down around her eye. Brush over this cheek. Around her chin. And then we'll take our E000 and I'm going to swipe over her entire face. And I think I'll come back with my E20 or my R21 and just put a little bit more of this pink in. So for her hair, we're going to use Y35, YR20, Y21, and E50. I'm going to go ahead and start with our Y35. So I'm going to hold my pen more straight up and down so that I get smaller flicks for me. And then I just take my pen and I very lightly touch the paper and I just draw some of these little lines on. Got a little bit of hair showing down here. And then up here, her hair kind of curves a little bit, so you want your pen to go with the curve of the hair. So I'm going to do this line and kind of bring it down and around like this. Add in a few little streaks. And then up here for this one, same thing, you're going to add a few little streaks and you want your hair to go in the direction that it's going. So I'm going to pull down, and it kind of curves around this way. And then back here, I'm assuming it's going to curve around like this. So add a few down in here. And a couple to her little pigtail there. And I'll come back with this color at the end, so I'm not worried that I didn't fill it in. And then we're going to add YR20 to that. So again, hold your pen up and just draw a few little lines in there. Next, we're going to add Y21. So again, add a few little lines. So I'm just going to add a few little. I try to keep them so that they're not right over the top of the last color. I want them to be in between. So we're adding a few more little lines in here. And I try not to push too hard on my pen, otherwise it smushes the end, and then my streaks get really fat. And then for my E50, I'm just going to go over the entire thing. I'm just going to swipe over her, all of the hair, and that will fill in any spaces. Kind of smush the colors together a little bit. And then I come back with my darkest one, which was Y35, and just add a few little streaks back in. Let's hop up here and do the little pom-poms on her hat. For that, we'll use BG45, BG53, B00, and C0. So we'll go ahead and start with our BG45. I'm not going to do anything fancy, I'm just going to go right along the bottom of each of these little pom-poms. Make a little C. And then we'll add BG53 to that. So I touch down on my 45 and I pull away from that and add some more to my white space. And then B00 to fill it in. And I tend to, with my last color, I tend to go over all the previous colors. So like on these two, I'm coming way down at the bottom of the pom-pom and pulling over the top of all of that. And because my paper is kind of a bluish gray color, I'm going to go over the top of all of that with my C0. And that will kind of gray them up. Well, let's go ahead and do this little hair tie too. So we'll do BG45. kg 53. Oops, and I didn't have enough. I didn't leave enough space, so I'm just going to skip B00, and I'll go over that with my B or my C0 just to gray it up. Let's go ahead and do her coat next. For that, we'll use B00, B000, and R29 for the accents. Alright, so we're going to start with B00. Whoops, there goes the lid. Bye, lid. So I'm going to start down here on her coat on this part. I'm going to just brush a little bit up from the bottom. Just go a little bit around this little spot right here, right next to her coat. So there's just a little bit of white there. And then this side will go up along the bottom of this sleeve. Do a couple of these wrinkles. And let's connect this shoulder right here. And then for this inside of the jacket, let's go right along the seam. And then we're going to go along the back. This jacket down here, along this way. And then we're going to pull this out a little bit because that's not very much. And we'll go underneath the arm. And then there's this little wrinkle right here, so I'm going to go over that. And I colored a little bit of that pocket in a little bit, but I don't care about that because I'm going to cover that up with the red. So we're not going to worry. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and brush. I'm not going to fill it all the way in because I'm going to come back with a second coat. But we're going to brush over our previous color and then add a little bit more to our white. I wanted our jacket to be a little bit darker, but not really dark. So now we'll go back and we'll add our second coat of B00. And then this time we will fill it all the way in with our B000. So I'm just going to swipe clear across from one side to the other side, fill it all the way up. I swiped right over that pocket and over those buttons. And then I'm going to take my R29 and fill those in. Pull these little buttons and this little pocket accent. Let's go up down here and we'll do her boots next. For that we're going to use T8, T6, T5, T3, and T1. So I'm going to start with my T8, and for my boot, let's go right down the inside of this side. And I think I'm going to pop the other end off because I don't use T8 very much and I don't want it to make a big blob. So we're just going to, and it seemed really wet. And we're going to go down the back of this side. And then we're going to come along the sole because we're going to color those the lightest colors, so try not to get a bunch on that. And then I'm going to color these little lines. And let's brush this out a little bit more. What's the last word that I heard you say before you hung up the phone? Silence. And we'll do this side. And then we're going to add T6. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up this top section up to that little zipper. We're going to color that one of the lighter colors, so try not to get it colored in. And then we're going to soften this edge. And we're coloring up here. Aim for the side, coloring up here, do a little bit there. And then we're going to go over that little spot here with our T5. And even though I colored the back, I still tend to swipe over this part just to blend the colors a little bit better. And we'll take our T3. I'm going to go ahead and brush a little bit on my soles. And then I'm going to go up here, I'm going to do this little section that's right underneath of her pants. And then I'm going to take T1 to fill in the soles. I'm going to swipe over the entire thing. And then we're just going to fill in these little bows in the zipper. Okay, that leaves us with a hat and the pants. So for that, we're going to use R39, R29, R24, and R14. Let's go ahead and start down here at the pants, and we'll start with our R29. And I'm going to go right up here in between the jacket. Brush about right to where the bow starts on the bottom of this one. We'll go over here, and right here there's a little wrinkle, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little dab here at the bottom. And for this one, here's a little wrinkle, so let's do that. And then we're going to want to go underneath of her jacket. And along the bottom there a little bit. Next we'll add our R29. So I tend to go over the R39 first, and then I swipe just a little bit more color on here. Going just a little bit more into my white space. And then I'll add R24. This side's getting pretty skinny, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this side in. Add a little bit more to this side. And then we'll take our R14 and fill it in. But I still like to take this color and just swipe over the top of all these colors. And let's hop up here and do the hat. So start with your R39. And I'm going to do right here along the bottom where her hair is touching first. I'm going to try not to color her hair. Since it is blonde and we're not going to be able to see that. And then right here is the underside of her hat. I'm going to color that in right here. And then there's still the little wrinkle of her hat right here. And then I'm going to pull this color away from these little pom-poms. So I'm going to go with my stripes or my streaks going away from the pom-poms in the direction that the hat is going. Up here they kind of curve around a little bit. So we're going to go out here and curve like her head would be curving. And then I'm going to add R29 to that. So we'll go down here in the back, and I'm going to brush right over the 39, pull past that, and add a little bit to my white. And let's go ahead and bring this color down to her ponytail. I'm going to bring this down past the ponytail. I'm going to go right to where that little bow tie is, or a little tie for her hair. And we'll add R24. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit. I don't want to fill it all the way in, but I'm going to get pretty close. Bring this around over here, and then as it gets over this way further, we're going to leave a little bit of white for our last color. And then we'll take our R14 to fill it in. I will take R29. I'm not liking this little hat here. I'm going to bring this color for my hat out right next to the edge of that line over to here. And then we're going to add R24 to that. And then we'll add R14 for a second coat. And there is our Happy Twila all colored up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut her out, and then we'll put our card together. Alright, so through the magic of photo editing, I have cut Twila out, and we are ready to put our card together. So first thing I do is I always make sure my card is opening the way I want it to. And then I'm going to add my tape runner to the back here. You could also use this piece with the people and the snowman on it if you wanted to have that instead. But you're not really going to see too much of the paper once you apply the other stuff. You're only going to kind of see the outside, so keep that in mind if you want to pick the other side. You don't want to have a half a person showing up on the other side. Alright, so then we're going to take her off of all there, and we're going to have this. So you're going to get a little piece of acetate, and you're going to want to attach that to the back of this. So I'm going to go ahead and put some tape runner around the outside here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit here in the corners where the tape runner is running, or where the circle goes around. And then I'm just going to lay this down on top of this and smooth it out. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some foam tape, and I'm going to go ahead and add that around the outside here, and then we will come back. I'm going to do that so you don't have to watch it, and then I will show you how it looks when I'm finished. Alright, so I went ahead and add 2 layers of foam dots, so I went ahead and cut the tape long enough, and then I piled 2 on top of each other so they'd be pretty thick. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to peel these. Oh, wait, before we peel them off, let's do, before I forget, let's do our powder tool. I usually use my anti-static powder tool along the inside because some of the tape I didn't get it as bumped up flat as I would like. And then I usually have some there on my acetate, and I just take my paper towel or whatever and wipe off this little window. Okay, and in your shaker cards, or in your kit, you're going to get a bag of sequins. I know when you open the little bag, it doesn't seem like there's much in the little sack, that's not going to be enough. But truly, once you put this in here, you don't need a whole bunch. Like you want to be able to shake it around after you put the paper on here. And if it's only 2 layers thick and you have a whole bunch in there, it's not going to work. And I'm thinking maybe this might still be too much. So it's got, I usually take the little shaker bag and I just divide it up. What I did is I took a pinch of each color, so I reached in the bag, and whatever I could pinch with my finger is what I put for my little card here. But there should be plenty in there, and if there's not, you could always add some glitter or something if you wanted to have more than what is in your little kit. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and peel all of these little sticker things off here. And of course it's being difficult. Come on, let go. Because I'm trying to be efficient, I'm sure of it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and spread these out a little bit so they're not so... Oh, see, now I've got one stuck on my foam tape. Okay, then we're going to take this piece, and what I did is I just set it off, or I set it onto the back. So I took it on here like this, and I just kind of lined it up and then stuck it down. I made sure that it wasn't coming off of the other side of the blue, so you won't be able to see this piece on the back. And then I just took my tape runner. You could also just take some foam adhesive or whatever, and I think this just ran out. So let's take that off. Of course it did, but I had the forethought of bringing a new one. Yay! And then I just tape runner the back here. A little bit there in the center. And then we're going to take this, and I just lined it up in the middle-ish. And then give it a little smush. Smush it down. And then next we're going to put down our little lamp post. So I'm going to use some liquid glue for that. So for this I'm going to use, it's attached on this side, so let's go from the middle and this way. Because the other stuff's going to hang off the side. And then I made sure that it's kind of hanging off this blue piece just a little bit. But I wanted to make sure that the center here was on the cardstock so it would have something to glue down to. And yours, I didn't go through and poke all these little parts out, so you're going to have to take a second to get out your poker tool and just remove all the little dots from your little lamppost and from your little snowflakes. So next we're going to go ahead and put down this bigger snowflake first. And so I'm going to put some glue here in the center and then go down the middle. And then I'm just going to kind of swirl it around here on the side. And then this one, I made sure that the center of the top was on the blue cardstock, and then I just tapped it down, and it is touching the acetate over here on this side. Next we'll do this one. The glue should have been on this side. And this one you can put it down. I'm going to go ahead and put it like right here. Move this bigger one over farther this time. And you could save some of your little sequins if you wanted and put them onto the little bows. I didn't think of that, so I didn't do that. But you could. Then we're going to do, this says Time for Joy. If you don't like the sentiment, you can always flip it over and put your own sentiment on the back, but I did stamp this one sentiment on there. It's from the Penny Black Festive Snippets stamp set. You do not get that in your card kit. I went ahead and just stamped this one. Okay, let's go with right here. And then for my little Twila here, I went ahead and put a couple little pop dots on the back of her. So she's popped up over the top of her lamppost. And then I went ahead and kind of lined her up with the blue stitching line on the bottom of the blue cardstock. Like that. And there you have her. And there we got a little shaker card all shaking around. Pretty cute. So that's going to do it for us today. If you have a question, leave me a comment down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the little bell next to it so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope you're having a fabulous day and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.